Got stance, hasn't he? From where I am standing, the Mercedes-AMG GT R is pure intimidation, fat, wide, low and aggressive. Commendably like the GT3 racer, in fact. Shifts are sharper and race start, what AMG calls launch control, uses higher revs and a more aggressive strategy. Rear track widths are up 57mm, and again we have new components, a whole new back axle in fact, including that 4-wheel steering system. There are dynamic engine mounts as well, but the GTS has those too. A 9 kilograms carbon fiber torque tube, 40% lighter than the GTS's aluminium item, surrounds a 4 kilograms carbon drive shaft that takes 577 bhp and 516 pounds-foot rearward to the gearbox, which, you guessed it, has come in for some alterations. The turbochargers are new, boost has been increased from 1.2 bar to 1.35 bar, and they can spin up to 186,000 rpm, that is 3,100 revolutions per second, fact fans. And hopefully far friendlier to drive than Maranello's Savage. I drove that recently and boy is it sorry, digressing. What haven't I mentioned? There is now 4-wheel steering, carbon fiber body panels, moving underbody aero elements, another 7.4 bhp from the twin-turbo V8, fully redesigned suspension, extra supports to boost torsional rigidity, 9-position traction control that promises Ferrari-style controlled skidding, adjustable coilover spring/damper units, standard Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. Whoa, steady on, I have brain ache. You and me both. A dizzying amount of work has been done to justify the $31750 price increase here. The aim is to make the GT-R a more focused and rewarding car to drive than the GTS. You need to have your wits about you at all times because the margin for error, between quick steering and lively back axle, is small. I know, surely this one is going to exaggerate those attributes, then. But wait, Merc has previous when the SLS Black came along. It was a far more tightly controlled and composed car than the rather wayward standard SLS. But is it really a track car? That's what we're here to find out. For a kickoff, the amount of work that has gone into it is deeply impressive. Haven't we got back as far as the engine yet? We have now. The AMG GT is front mid-engined. The weight distribution is actually a slightly rear-biased 47:53 thanks to the gearbox sitting on the rear axle, and wears a pair of turbos inside the V of the 4. And is it? I am going to keep you holding on a little longer, as I want to do some digging into the technology Merc has shoved under these swollen panels. We'll start at the front and work back. 5 degrees. The idea is to sharpen up turning below 62 miles per hour by counter-steering, and improve stability above that speed by turning in the same direction. So it has a hardcore front-engined, rear-drive coupe with 4-wheel steering. Neither they have very little in common. The GT-R is a development of the GTS road car, not a detuned racing car. Having said that, if you've caught a sniff of Nurburgring lap times recently, you might be aware that a GT-R has just got itself round there in 7 minutes 10 SEC, which Merc claims is a record for rear-wheel drive cars. A Radical SR8 LM has got itself around in 6 minutes 48 SECs, and although they never published the result, we've no reason to doubt McLaren SP1 dipped below the 7 minutes mark. But leaving all that aside, a 7 minutes 10 SECs lap is astonishingly rapid for a comparatively civilized road car. Quicker than a Viper ACR or Corvette ZR1, surely the closest in layout and ethos to the Merc, only just adrift of a Nismo GT-R. I am sure it could be more in your face, but as yet I can't work out how. Behind the lower air dam are flaps to control airflow, and underneath, still in front of the engine, there is a carbon fiber panel that lowers itself by 40mm at speed, adding a Venturi effect and claiming to reduce front axle lift by 40 kilograms at 155 miles per hour. The front wings are of course new, and made of carbon fiber, to cover the 46mm track width increase. 5%er. There are 2 additional diagonal brace beams across the engine bay, 2, less sound insulation, and the very trick 9-position traction system operated by a yellow knob in the middle of the dash.